What's up, guys? Welcome back to Be Quiet Dev, where I share with you the latest and greatest tips and tricks on tech and dev. In this video, I'm going to tell you why you should learn TypeScript in 2023. Trust me, this is not a clickbait title. TypeScript is a game changer for web developers, and I'm going to show you why. All right, let's get started. So, what is TypeScript? TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript, which means it has everything that JavaScript has, plus some extra features that make your life easier as a developer. The main feature of TypeScript is that it adds static typing to JavaScript. Static typing means that you have to specify the type of each variable in your code, such as string, number, boolean, etc. This way, TypeScript can check your code for errors before it runs and prevent a lot of bugs that would otherwise slip through the cracks. Now, you might be thinking, why do I need static typing? I like JavaScript because it's flexible and dynamic. I can change the type of any variable whenever I want. That's the beauty of JavaScript. Well, let me tell you something, that's also the curse of JavaScript. Sure, it might seem convenient and fun to change the type of a variable on the fly, but it can also lead to a lot of problems and headaches later on. For example, imagine you have a function that takes two numbers as parameters and returns their sum, something like this. Now, what happens if you accidentally pass a string instead of a number to this function? Well, in JavaScript, this would not cause any error. Instead, it would just concatenate the two strings together and return the result. Something like this. And as you can see, this is not what we want. We want our function to always return a number, not a string. But JavaScript doesn't care about that. It just does whatever it can with the values you give it, even if it doesn't make sense. This is where TypeScript comes in handy. With TypeScript, you can specify the type of each parameter and the return value of the function. Something like this. Now, if you try to pass a string instead of a number to this function, TypeScript will catch the error and warn you before you run the code. Something like this. As you can see, this is much better. TypeScript helps us avoid silly mistakes that can cause serious bugs in our code. It also makes our code more legible and understandable for ourselves and other developers. And another coolest features of TypeScript that can make your code more elegant and expressive. Interfaces. Interfaces are a way of defining contracts or specifications for the structure and behavior of objects. Interfaces can help us describe the shape and properties of objects, as well as the methods and events that they support. Interfaces can also help us enforce consistency and compatibility between different objects that share a common interface. For example, imagine you have a function that takes an object as a parameter and prints its name and age, something like this. Now, this function works fine, but it has some drawbacks. First of all, it does not check the type or validity of the person object. What if you pass an object that does not have a name or an age property? Or what if you pass a non-object value to the function? Second, it does not specify what kind of object it expects as a parameter. That you want to use the same function for different kinds of objects that have a name and an age property, such as animals or cars. This is where interfaces can help us. With TypeScript, we can define an interface for the person object and use it to annotate the type of the parameter in the function. Something like this. Now, this function is much more robust and clear. We can use any object that conforms to the person interface as a parameter, and the function will print its name and age. For example, as you can see, TypeScript checks if the object has the required properties and types before passing it to the function. If we try to pass an object that does not match the person interface, TypeScript will catch the error and warn us before we run the code. TypeScript helps us avoid passing invalid or incompatible values to the function. It also makes our code more readable and understandable for ourselves and other developers. Another feature of TypeScript is code completion. This means that when you are writing your code, you can get suggestions and hints from your editor or IDE about what properties, methods, or parameters are available for a certain object or function. This can save you a lot of time and prevent errors, especially if you are working with complex or unfamiliar libraries. Suppose you have a variable called person of type person, which is an interface that has properties, name, and age. If you type person, in your editor, you will see a list of suggestions for the properties and methods that are available for the person object. For example, you can type person, name to access the name property or person, age to access the age property. You can also use the dot operator to chain multiple properties or methods together, such as person name length to get the length of the name string or person, age toString to convert the age number to a string. Suppose you have a function called greet that takes a parameter of type person and returns the string. If you type greet in your editor, you will see a hint for the parameter type and name, as well as the return type of the function. For example, you will see something like this. This means that the greet function expects a person object as its argument and returns a string as its result. You can also use the tab or enter key to auto-complete the parameter name, such as greetPerson. This can help you avoid spelling errors and mismatch types when calling functions. Suppose you are working with the document object, which represents the HTML document that is loaded in the browser. If you type document in your editor, you will see a list of suggestions for the properties and methods that are available for the document object. For example, you can type document getElementByte to access the getElementByte method, which takes a string as its argument and returns an element with that ID. You can also use the dot operator. You chain multiple properties or methods together, such as document. So that's all for this video about why you must use TypeScript for your web development projects. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new and useful. TypeScript is a great language that can help you write better and safer code, as well as make your coding experience more enjoyable and productive. If you want to learn more about TypeScript, you can check out the official website, the documentation, or some of the online courses and tutorials that are available. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notified when I upload new videos. And if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please leave them in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you and answer your queries. Thank you for watching and see you next time. PS, I have a bonus. I've created the graphical artwork of a TypeScript logo using artificial intelligence. You can see it on the screen right now. I think it looks pretty cool and creative, don't you? Let me know what you think about it in the comments.